Hey, take a look around you. The building you're in right now, it's a huge energy consumer. I mean, a lot of it. But what if that whole equation was about to flip on its head? What if, instead of just using energy, our buildings could actually become the power plants of our future?
It all kicks off with this really simple, almost obvious question from the folks at Sfilar Power. We see these flat, rigid solar panels everywhere, right? We just accept that's how they are. But have you ever stopped to ask why?
Well, here's the kicker. They don't have to be. And that one tiny shift in thinking, it's sparking a revolution. We're talking about turning the very skin of our cities into a massive source of clean power.
And listen, this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. This is happening right now, and it's a gold rush. We're talking about a market for self-powering buildings that's projected to hit a staggering $58 billion by 2029. That is a massive economic shift, and it's already underway.
So what's the big push behind all this? It really boils down to this one powerful idea: net zero. Buildings that generate every single watt of energy they use. And to get there, just slapping a few panels on the roof isn't going to cut it. Nope. We have to fundamentally rethink what a building even is.
Okay, so let's meet the core technology making this all happen: building integrated photovoltaics. You'll probably hear it called BIPV. And this isn't just some new gadget. It's a whole new way of thinking that's about to completely change our skylines.
So what exactly is BIPV? Basically, it means solar technology is no longer just an add-on. It becomes part of the building's DNA. We're not talking about those clunky panels you bolt onto a roof as an afterthought. We're talking about the roof shingles themselves being solar panels, the windows in a skyscraper generating electricity from sunlight, the entire face of the building becoming a vertical power station.
And the difference is just night and day. On one side, you've got traditional solar, these bulky panels added onto a structure. But with BIPV, it's all about integration. The power-generating materials are the structure. We're shifting from just tacking on a feature to designing with this incredible function from the very start. The entire building envelope, every surface, becomes a potential power source.
And this is where it gets really, really cool. The possibilities are almost endless. We're not just limited to roofs anymore. We're talking about transparent solar windows, facades that come in all sorts of colors, even skylights that power the room below. All of a sudden, any part of a building that gets hit by the sun is an asset, which just multiplies its energy potential like crazy.
Okay, so what's the magic ingredient here? What's the breakthrough that's making these beautiful, efficient building skins even possible? Well, the answer is in this incredible new material. Let's talk about the perovskite revolution.
So what on earth are perovskites? Simply put, they're a type of material with a really special crystal structure. And that structure makes them unbelievably good at one thing: grabbing sunlight and turning it into electricity. You got to think of it less as an upgrade to old solar tech and more like a brand new engine for making power.
And honestly, these things have what you could call superpowers. They are incredibly efficient at converting light into electricity. They're surprisingly cheap to make. And their versatility, total game changer. They can be lightweight, flexible, even see-through. And maybe best of all, they can absorb a wider range of light, which means they actually work better on cloudy days.
Just look at that number for a second. Over 29% efficiency in lab tests. That's not just pretty good. That is absolutely world-class. It's right up there with, and in some cases, even better than, the best traditional silicon panels you can buy today. So this isn't some cheap, second-rate alternative. This is a top-tier performer. When you put it side by side with traditional silicon, you really see what a disruptive force perovskites are. You've got higher efficiency, much cheaper manufacturing, unbelievable flexibility, and it works better in more light conditions. I mean, across almost every important metric, it's a huge leap forward. All right, so this all sounds fantastic, right? But we all know that amazing new tech usually comes with an equally amazing price tag. So, what's the bottom line? Can we actually afford to build our cities this way? And really, this is the question that matters most. You have this revolutionary material that's flexible, can be transparent, and is super efficient. But can it actually compete on price? The answer is a huge, resounding yes. For some of these modules, we're looking at a manufacturing cost of just 15 cents per watt. That's not just competitive. In a lot of cases, it's actually cheaper than old-school energy sources. That completely changes the game. So how is that even possible? Well, it all comes down to the ingredients. The biggest chunk of the cost, that 57%, is for raw materials that are both abundant and cheap.
It's a completely different world from silicone, which needs this really expensive, energy-hungry manufacturing process. Making perovskates is just fundamentally simpler and way more cost-effective. And here is the ultimate payoff. When you factor everything in, the cheap manufacturing, the high efficiency, you get something called the levelized cost of energy. It's basically the true all-in cost of electricity over the system's entire life. For perovskites, that number can get as low as 1.4 cents per kilowatt hour. That's not just competitive with fossil fuels, that is one of the cheapest ways to generate power on the entire planet, period.
Okay, so we've seen the tech works, and the economics make perfect sense. That means we can stop asking if this is possible and start asking what's next. What does a city actually look like when this tech is everywhere? Let's take a peek into that world. And this brings us right back to that initial idea from Speller Power. Once you let go of the idea that solar cells have to be flat, you start to see that we can weave energy generation into the very fabric of our lives, capturing light from every angle all day long.
Yeah, this is the vision. Imagine skyscrapers where the glass walls are also giant solar arrays. Neighborhoods where the roof tiles look totally normal but are quietly powering the homes underneath. Curved bus shelters, highway sound barriers. Literally every surface becomes an opportunity to create clean energy.
And that really is the ultimate question this technology forces us to ask. It's changing the very definition of what a building is, from just a passive shelter to a living, breathing power plant. The future isn't just about building smarter things, it's about building power itself. What an incredible thought to end on.